105.4 FM in London and across the UK on digital radio.
David Cameron once famously described his own Christian faith as rather like the reception of the London radio station Magic FM in the Chiltern Hills. It fades in and out, he said. But for a large number of the current crop of Conservative MPs, their faith is constant and it informs their politics. It's central to their political lives. And what's more, a large number of those who contested the Conservative leadership this time around say they are active Christians. The question is then, is this just a coincidence, or has something happened to the Conservative Party and its relationship with God and church?
There was, and I was part of it, there was an influential organisation still active in the Conservative Party today called the Conservative Christian Fellowship that did, over a long period, recruit churchgoers, went out to churches, Christian communities and said get involved in politics. There may be an element of that work coming to fruition, but that work was certainly done before people like Theresa May applied to be Conservative Party members.
The frontrunner, Theresa May, is a vicar's daughter, and she says her faith is active and deep.
I think the point is that it is part of me. It is part of who I am and therefore how I approach things. I think it's right that we don't sort of flaunt these things here in British politics. But, you know, it is a part of me, it's there, and it obviously helps to frame my thinking and my approach.
The other contender still in the race, Andrea Leadsom, has come to her faith more recently and seems far more enthusiastic about discussing it.
I always try to ensure that I'm doing what I think God would want me to do. I don't mean that in the sense that I'm not responsible for what I'm doing, but I just try and keep in mind that, that God's there and guiding my hands and helping me.
Andrea Leadsom is part of the all-party Christians in Parliament group who meet to pray and study the Bible together. The chairman of the group says Christian Conservatives in particular have had an image problem.
Frankly, over the last couple of decades, Christians on the right haven't helped ourselves by pinpointing a couple of issues and sometimes using very ugly language. And I think we're learning a lot that that's just not the way forward. It doesn't express the love of the God that we are seeking to follow at all. And we've got to get over that. And I don't blame people for thinking that we're hung up on one or two issues. That was the case a few years ago. I hope now it's increasingly not the case.
But those issues, abortion and particularly gay marriage, are important issues to many Conservative activists who will be picking the next Prime Minister. David Cameron drew a lot of criticism from his grassroots, legislating for gay marriage without it being in the party's manifesto. Today, Andrea Leadsom said she would have preferred the law not to have been changed.
I would have preferred for civil partnerships to be available to heterosexual and gay couples, and for marriage to have remained as a Christian service that was for men and women who wanted to commit in the eyes of God.
But crucially, Andrea Leadsom isn't proposing to change the law back. We are, it seems, a long way from the kind of religious right so active in American politics.